Hey, what's up? My name is Alex, I'm a music producer, and today I want to analyze the music of Punishing Grey Raven, as requested by the people over at Patreon. The track that everybody's been requesting for a while is called Narwhal, so let's go. Oh wait, that's a whole other banger. Wrong track, sorry. Let's go with Narwhal by Haloweak. That's a very slow intro. Interesting Bulgarian vocals. Okay. Oh, okay. I see. There's this interesting juxtaposition of the organic element, like real singing, but there's also this layer of synthesizers and pads and electronic sounds that kind of reminds me of stuff like Nier Automata. It's a very human story, but told through robots. This is kind of how I'm feeling about the music. I don't know anything about this game, but from what I'm hearing now, it sounds kind of cybernetic in nature. It's interesting how they led to this moment with those sort of like ethnic Bulgarian sounding vocals. That reminds me of that amazing piece of media that made these vocals sort of like a trend. I mean, I personally love to use these vocals myself. In fact, in the game that I'm writing the soundtrack of, which is called Second Stone, there's a portion in the game trailer where I use those vocals a lot. Anyway, let me check that trance part that came right after. That sounds so cool. Yeah. There's so much going on already. Like, you have one synthesizer that is played with a trance gate. The trance gate is a tool that people use to create that interesting rhythm very akin to trance music. Without it, that synthesizer would sound like this. With it, you create these breaks that add a lot of oomph and rhythm to the whole thing, like this. Then we have some arpeggios. And then there's those vocals that are very interesting. This whole style, it's basically trance music, which was super big in the early 2000s, and in my heart, it's gonna be big forever. I love this genre to death, but it's very rare to hear it in modern media. The cool thing about this genre, as the title suggests, right? Trance. There's all these elements that sound very spiritual in a way, and it has this constant rhythm that is so engaging, and it really puts you in a trance. It's very interesting. Take, for example, this small remix that I did of the Pathless score from Austin Wintory. That's sort of what I mean with spiritual stuff that puts you in a bit of a state of trance. It really plays with your emotion in a beautiful way and lifts your spirits up. I never played Punishing Grey Raven, but if the gameplay is as engaging as the music in this moment, then that must be an interesting combo that puts you literally inside the game, which I suppose maybe that's why people love this song so much. Damn, that's cool as heck. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, that is so freaking cool. I love like all the chord changes they're doing. You had like the vocal making you soar and fly, and then sneakily the harmony under that did a very interesting chord change. That is such an interesting way to massage the track forwards. It's as if we ended a statement with some very stylish punctuation or a very stylish figure of speech. To someone who's not a musician, this stuff may seem trivial. You may think, oh, well, but the melody is the most important thing. I like the vocal part way more than the chord change. And I mean, you wouldn't be wrong, right? But this sort of small details are so helpful for making the track flow naturally in a way that doesn't sound boring to you. And that is also the sign of a composer who's very musically literate, who can actually massage the track through with these gentle nudges that appear without you even realizing and let you enjoy the song twice as much. So it's one thing to write compelling melodies and beautiful vocals, but it's another thing to be able to present it amazingly. Let's see how it continues. Okay. Notice how like they remove the drums completely. Makes you feel emotional. Because now you suddenly hear all the atmosphere and the pads behind what you were hearing earlier. Beautiful. Beautiful choir rising. It's like, what the hell? Yeah. Like now, you feel freaking one with the universe. Yeah, that's awesome. Damn. They're like rebuilding track bit by bit, making you realize what was there all along. So cool. Ooh, build up. Interesting. Damn. Yeah, that's such a classic. Such a classic way to build tension. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. That is actually freaking cool. Banger material. So beautiful. I love especially like the build-up that came before that part. Because like, it's important to write a crazy drop or climax or whatever. But the way to that point matters as much, because otherwise, if you have the most amazing melody ever made, but you cannot deliver it properly, it's like having an amazing joke, but a terrible delivery. It ruins the joke. So the way they built the tension was very interesting. They rebuilt the track bit by bit by adding each element, and then they made it loop over and over. Underneath the repetition, you have a sound similar to this one. That sort of like increasing tone creates a lot of tension and makes you wonder, oh my God, what's about to happen now? You know, that creates the curiosity, the question. And then the answer is not the drop right away, but there's a bit of silence. Like, here you expect the drop, but it doesn't start. There's that silence, and then oh, damn. Beautiful, beautiful. What happened now? Same melody, right? But the cool thing is, in music, one thing to keep in mind, very important as a composer, is when you write a song, you do not only think about melody, you also think about context, you think about size, you think about how wide the music is, how concentrated it is, how epic versus how intimate. In this section, like this drop is split in two phases. There's the big Bulgarian choir version singing that melody, and then it repeats same melody, but the Bulgarian vocals are no more. The melody moved to an intimate singer, just one person, which is mixed to sound like she's in the center of the stage. While before the vocals were like wide in the left and the right. That brought the track from an epic sound to a more intimate experience, and that's why this part sounds more emotional. People think that electronic music is written in a way where you just press one red button and the track generates by itself, but actually this is no different from writing orchestral music in a way. Like, you have to think about all this stuff. Like, oh, I want to change instruments because I want this part to sound more intimate and be like, you know, represent the sadness rather than the epicness. So this boss fight, now, with this music, it has an emotional edge that it wouldn't have before. And as a random listener who's never played the game, I feel like this boss specifically must be freaking tough emotionally to handle. Not only like in terms of like fighting with them and stuff, but for what it means in terms of the story. It really feels like they're trying to narrate a story on both sides. The epicness of the conflict, the determination of the protagonist, but also the emotional side of what the boss is facing, or of what it means for the protagonist to go against such boss. That's what I'm feeling, and all that information I gathered from all these different details that the composers put in this track, specifically this climax right here and this solo vocalist coming after the big epic choir, is so meaningful, and it's so beautiful and human. Beautiful performance, I love it. So a special thanks goes to the people who requested this track copiously over at Patreon. Patreon is the only place where you can request me to analyze any piece of music you like from a video game. And every so and so, I'll take a track from the request thread there and make a video about it. So if you want me to talk about something very specific that you're very interested into, check out the Patreon. It's also one way to support the channel and make it stay alive. I appreciate you guys. I hope this video taught you something new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.